So with Boruto chapter 59, a few things were introduced, a couple of new characters, a few events, a few ideas. Honestly, a big struggle and a big weight on Kawaki's shoulders has been placed with chapter 59, but a few things that happened mixed with a commenter, one of you guys, kind of saying something regarding time travel, really brought me to a crazy theory that I wanted to share alongside talking about the latest chapter, because honestly, it kind of blew my mind and made me think, wait a minute. That would be such an insane plot twist, and I would absolutely be all over it, and it would also be something that majority of the fandom I don't think has honestly thought about. And it revolves around Amado and Kawaki in particular, because those are the two that kind of really go along with all of this, but also it would kind of involve some of the latest stuff. For example, Ada, her new brother that was just introduced in Boruto 59, Daemon, and just in general, a lot of where the plot is going with Boruto and kind of past, present, and future. So we got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, people, let's jump into a little bit of this Boruto. I don't want to say greatness because this chapter wasn't greatness, but we're gonna talk, people. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Now, again, like I said, with this chapter, it wasn't the hugest thing in the world. In fact, a lot of characters, key characters, weren't even involved in this chapter. We didn't get no Boruto, there wasn't no Naruto, Sasuke. A lot of people just weren't present for this chapter because it was mostly building up, again, on the parallels of like Kawaki and Code, and kind of building up on the villain side of things, as well as what's going on with Kawaki. And also really stressing, honestly, at this particular point, that Amado is sus. Amado is definitely sus in many different regards of like, what the hell are you up to? Like, because honestly, at a certain point, you got to just kind of scratch your head. Like, you maybe, because I can't even clearly rule it out, weren't after, like, you know what I'm saying, being cool with Ishiki Otsutsuki and his plans because, you know, you helped to kind of murder him, you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't what you was trying to do, right? And then obviously you ain't kill nobody. You haven't, you know, you placed a supposed fake bomb around Shikadai's neck, so you really weren't trying to kill him. Like, what the hell is going on with you, old man? Who are you? And one of the big questions that you probably gotta ask is, how the hell do you know so much about all of this shit? How do you know how to create these robots? This is futuristic technology that even Katatsuke, you know, the scientist that has been around, like, even he's bewildered at a lot of this shit, including Kawaki's DNA, Kawaki's body and shit like that. There's just so much to it that makes you wonder, like, you know, what's going on here? Now, again, going back to chapter 59, because it starts off, you see Kawaki and Code as children, and Code is choking him out, which I want to say we didn't really see much interaction between the two of them as children in Jigen's lair or anything like that. Like, you see now they're starting to implement things to kind of showcase that there was a little bit of rivalry and, of course, jealousy from Code's side of things of like, why are you special? Why are you the vessel? And things like that, to more so push forward the whole idea that, oh, Code really wanted to be, you know, he worshipped Ishiki to a point that he was mad that he couldn't be his vessel and Kawaki could, and Kawaki's like, you weirdo, I don't even want to be here, what's wrong with you? It's kind of like a group of kids that, you know, the truck with the creeps that say, hey, come in, I got candy, while Kawaki's like, stranger, stranger. Code is like, ooh, what flavor, can I go in? And then when they're like, but what about the other kid, he gets mad at the other kid, like, why do they want you to go get candy too? Like, I don't know, kind of seems like Code is just being played, and there's a possibility that maybe Ishiki didn't tell him anything, which at the end of the day, if Ishiki wouldn't tell, let's just say for example, like, he actually has a possibility of coming back via Code, why wouldn't he tell him when Code is all for it? So that's something that, like, if there's a big plot twist that Code is being played as a fiddle all along and Ishiki don't really care about him, but like Code wouldn't mind that. Like, anything that Ishiki wants, if Ishiki wants to take a shit on his head, he'd probably be okay with it. He'd be like, oh shit, God is shitting on me, there's a purpose behind it. But then Amado talks to Kawaki about their plans of like, yo, let's etch karma onto Code and then Boruto could revive, and he basically says like, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It probably won't happen because he already has a karma, and there's just a lot of variables that it probably won't work. And again, it's just kind of like, damn, you really know a lot about this karma shit, huh? You're not an Otsutsuki to our knowledge. You haven't displayed anything, you haven't foreshadowed anything that you're an Otsutsuki. You're a mad scientist, but you know all of this stuff. And he even says something that, yet again, fam, man, it's a curse of the Boruto series. It's the same thing with Dragon Ball Super at this particular point, where Amado's like, nah, in a 1v1, Code would take out Naruto, especially now he don't got Kurama. And of course, we had that comment earlier in the last couple chapters that Code is potentially even stronger, especially without his limiters, than Ishiki was, that he would take out Naruto. And I'm just kind of like, what are we doing, man? I get it, next generation and all that shit, but fam, stuff like that, it does sometimes bother me. Like, I'm not like the rest of a lot of the fandom. I don't want to say the rest of a lot of the fandom that they, like, you know, they don't want to see Naruto and Sasuke take a L, but then they complain about like the stakes and things like that. Like, yeah, they took L's, and I cried, and I thought it was brilliant the way it was done with Kurama's death and all that shit. Like, I was all for it. I thought it was done, but just god damn, the way they nerfing to a point where now Code can take out Naruto. I never in a million years believed in Code. Even when they said it, I didn't believe in, yeah, Code is that dude that he could come in if he wants to bully Naruto around. Like, even without Kurama, he's still got, you know what I'm saying? He's still got Sage Mode. He's still got, come on. And on top of that, you gotta imagine the residual, you know, chakra and how expansive his chakra is even without Kurama. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That line kind of just got me more a little bit upset of like, come on, really? Like, he could take out Naruto? Like, damn. And then we cut because this goes back and forth between Ada and Code. And by the way, don't worry. My big theory and prediction, it's coming. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna know what I'm talking about regarding my theory of what's happening with Amado and Kawaki in particular. But we cut to Ada and Code, and basically Ada is like, yo, Kawaki cannot know about, you know, my involvement because then he won't rock with me. And, you know, of course, she's trying to make him her man. And Koda's like, he's safe, which he's clearly lying. Like, that's the one that stomped out Ishiki. He's lying, okay? Koda's a liar. I can almost guarantee it. And he's like, but Naruto is fair game. I'm going after the Hokage. He's the main target, which honestly, Ada trying to plea for like, no, but he really is going to be bothered by it because again, she can see everything, which honestly, it kind of feels weird. Like, the villains can see every plot, every plan, everything that's going down on the hero side of things. Like, I don't know, it just feels wild. It feels very overpowered for the villains. But then again, maybe you do need something like that, considering the fact that, again, I don't believe that Code is this monster when he was an underling of Ishiki and they took out Ishiki. Granted, they struggled, but yeah, I don't know. Also, we know, and it's confirmed now, that Ada, her powers really lie within her ability. Like, she has basic taijutsu capabilities, but she's a brain person, you know? She's a lover, not a fighter. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm sure the village probably looks at Kawaki like, get out! Because when he's in the middle of the street, and Shikadai is there, and he starts screaming, and Shikadai is like, yo, chill! And Shikadai is trying to talk to him, because again, now Kawaki is living in the shoes of how Naruto, when he was a kid, at that age, used to be going through. Like, everybody in the village is looking at him like a monster. So again, that parallel that Kawaki has with Naruto and feeling that bond and shit like that. He's even going through the shit that Naruto went through in Konoha, which you would think these motherfuckers in Konoha would learn about how to treat people, considering you treated Naruto like trash and now he's your leader. But, you know, some people don't fucking learn, which is why we get that intro when he crushes all of them like bugs. Speaking of bug, I just gotta throw it in there real quick. Bug. I don't know. Like, you are a bug. You act like a bug. You're a worm. You're a cockroach. Like, the way he's just throughout this chapter, he's just like, I can't wait for Code to get rid of him. I don't know. I just cannot stand Bug. He just seems like, And once again, Amado, because apparently he has an infatuation with Karma and Ishiki in this whole situation, as we've seen multiple times, he tells Kawaki that, yo, I know you want more strength, and yeah, you can get stronger. You are still technically like, you know, a vessel in a weird way. You still got the Karma mark inside of you in a weird way. You're almost completely Otsutsuki-fied in a way. You're 80%. And basically he explains to him that I could put you a new Karma that can be like an entry or an exit to get this, you know, big boost that you need, fam. Like, you know, you want it. And right there, and I'm going to throw my theory out here now, right there, it really made me wonder, like, so now you really want to lure him. Like, it's already been a little bit apparent of you trying to implant this into his consciousness of like, yo, you want it. You want Kara, or you want Karma. You know what I'm saying? You want it. And I'm just like, okay. And there's still many possibilities out there. But what about the possibility that either via, and I know you're probably going to say, oh my God, here we go talking about time travel, but what about if that toad, was it a toad? No, turtle. What about that turtle that, you know, he could time travel that we saw, you know, when they went back into the past? Again, that was anime only, so that's a possibility. It could have been a foreshadowing moment or something like, hey, there's going to be time travel in Boruto. So what about if either that or the Karma itself is a gateway that you can actually potentially use to time travel? What about if Amado is Kawaki from the future? What about if he comes from a future where Naruto has already been killed? And let's take it a step further, because later on in the chapter, we see that Ada's little brother gets activated. He's wild. He's crazy. What about if Ada and Daemon are actually robot creations, artificial creations of Kawaki's children from the future with Sumire? Let's talk about it, people. That shit, I'm not gonna lie, been on my mind all all day, and I had to bring that. What about, because it seems as though pairings wise, more than likely it's still going to be Boru Sada. That'll probably be a thing. And then what about if, again, based on everything we've seen, the pairings up of Sumire and them kind of keeping her close into the story, that's going to be the pairing between the two of them. Also, her Ada having that mindset and that technology and shit like that, that would make sense of, like, again, look, Sumire is, you know, into science and stuff like that, so her having knowledge and being knowledge based would make sense. Daemon just being a wild kid and shit like that. What about if in the future maybe some crazy shit happens? And again, if we have been feeling like to this point that this is almost like an homage to the android saga of Dragon Ball Z, right? Androids, all sorts of different things that just, it's very reminiscent. What about if we're also seeing like Amado is basically a future Trunks-esque type of character, and he came back in time to possibly change the future because maybe all of his children and so many other things has happened. Maybe it's something, even a threat beyond all of this, and he's just trying to skate by through this shit because there's more to come. What about if that? What about if the first time we get, and I know I'm jumping way wild with it, we got a Boruto movie or a Boruto special, a long special, it would be about the future that was supposed to happen, similar to the history of Trunks, the history of Kawaki. Oh my god, I know maybe some people are wrong. I am in love with this idea. If we're gonna do an homage and we're gonna do our own twist on an idea, that would work. And considering Kawaki is already at this point almost damn near like the main character and shit, it would work times a million. I'm not even gonna lie. I just, with everything, again, the introductions to Daemon in this chapter, it would just make a lot of sense that something happens in the future, and Amado either possibly using karma to use it as like a portal, or that turtle, which again, I think the turtle is very unlikely just because that was an anime only thing and that hasn't been hinted at in the actual manga itself. What about if he learned a way to travel through time and he came back again, and that's why he knows all of this shit? It would make sense how he knows everything about the Otsutsuki, how he would create Jiraiya. He would want to be next to his sensei, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if Jiraiya embodies things about his sensei, maybe throughout time he learned about Jiraiya. Maybe in his time period Naruto is long since dead, and again, he's kind of like a mixture of Trunks meets Bulma and came back in time. Like, I love that idea, and that would be absolutely insane. And then even in the end of this whole chapter where Sumire calls him out, says, yo, you acting really weird, fam. Like, there's something up with you. Are you a villain? What's going on? And the way he's responding to Sumire, calling her like an idiot and shit like that, like, he's really aggressive about it. Maybe it could be because he's just so heartbroken that this is the child version of my wife and shit like that. I don't even want to get close. I'm just in such a mess. I'm just going to be a piece of shit to her. So there's many different possibilities. And then him saying, did Shikamaru send you to do this? Maybe she actually, like, she seemingly claimed like, nah, it's just me, I'm just trying to do this, but who knows, man. Just so much. Honestly, I'm in love with that idea. If it's wrong, it's just a cool idea, but maybe Kawaki is Amado, or Amado is Kawaki from the future. And then the end of the chapter where we get that shot of Kawaki sitting there contemplating, because basically he's at a crossroad right now. Amado gave him an offer of like, yo, I could put you in new karma, but you know, that was a living nightmare in hell for him. But he's kind of contemplating like, but damn, man, I could possibly get the strength I need to save the Hokage if I get the karma back on me. So what do I do? So that honestly felt very deep and emotional, especially this chapter dropping on Father's Day. A surrogate son thinking of a surrogate father and potentially willing to relive a nightmare at the cost for the possibility of saving that surrogate father. Powerful shit, honestly. Kawaki stay carrying this on his back. We may have not had some of the Naruto, Sasuke's, you know, all of them characters, Boruto, but Kawaki did his thing in this chapter. And yeah, your thoughts on all of this. Curious what you guys think. What do you think about, you know, the new brother that was introduced, Ada's brother, Daemon? How do you feel about him? What do you think about Amado, again, him being sus? What do you think about my crazy theory that Amado is Kawaki from the future, a la on some mixture of Bulma meets Trunks, and he came back in time, and that's how he knows all about the Otsutsuki. That's how he knows about all this technology. That's how he knows all of this shit, because he already been through it. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Boruto manga with chapter 60 and beyond. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yo, if my little future theory thingy majig comes true and it's via karma that Amado came back in time and he's trying to, like, that would be wild. I'd love it. But either way, shit is interesting. New character Daemon, Code, Kawaki potentially getting a new karma, Amado sus in general. Shit is wild.
You what I know. So just go to ForneverWorld.